Peace. You are tuned into Edible Activists with your host and favorite edible activist, Melissa L. Jones. On this show, we honor Black people and their stories in food and agriculture, celebrating legacy, traditions, contributions, and creativity that all stem from the land. So tune in and let's get started. Peace. This is your host and favorite edible activist, Melissa L. Jones. Today, I am joined by Chef Marley, a born and raised Washingtonian, classically trained chef, and now farmers market manager at East Capitol Street Urban Farm. After a serious injury in 2014, she found healing in the soil and purpose in addressing food apartheid in DC's Wards 7 and 8. From kitchen to the farm, Marley is growing more than crops. She's growing community, connection, and wellness. Welcome, Chef Marley.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm just like, geez, it's super hard. So sorry. I just love you.
You have this, we've only met twice, but you just have this infectious energy. I met you last year and you are just so filled with joy and happiness. And I love your energy. And it's all over me. So I thank you.
Oh, thank you for just even thinking of me to be here.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Sometimes I wish that I can just crowd I want to talk to so many people, and for a long time, I've been wanting to talk to you, right. The schedules are crazy and, I have to, schedule accordingly. But I've been a fan and I've been watching your work for quite some time, and, everything is divine. And so you're here. You look great.
Thank you. I had to come correct. Like I told you, I had to come
well,
right.
Here's the thing. I say this often. Some of the best conversations that happen are actually before the show is recorded. And Chef Marley and I were talking about, and I was like, girl, you look good. She has on this shirt, y'all. It says paradise. It says cucumber. It's like summer vibe. It's very floral and producey or what have you. And she was like, I had to come correct. I was like, you could have showed up in some overalls. She's like, no, I wear those all the time. I get it. This was your time.
Yes, I got to be girly for a little bit because I know I'm coming to see the queen, the steward of keeping the stories, like I said to you earlier,
Oh, I appreciate you so much. Well, I listen, selfishly, I'm always excited because, I get to soak in all the vibes in person, but always excited to get to share another voice on the podcast. And we're going to jump into it, So Marley, you have been through a lot. And as I mentioned in the intro, you had a traumatic brain injury back in 2015, which changed the course of your life, and it's not all of your story. We know it's just part of your story.
Right.
And, want to just start with, that experience and how it led you from culinary, the world of culinary, when you're still in the world of culinary, to farming, because you're a farmer.
Yes. And I didn't know that right away. I didn't know I was a farmer. I just thought I was out here growing things. When they told me, they were like, no, baby, you're farming. And I was like, really? I'm farming? And I couldn't believe it. And, because I just I'm out here growing in my front yard, giving it away, because we were going through COVID. And I was just like, okay, let's just grow more food. And when they said you're farming, it kind of took me back. And then it was like, okay, let's own this. And, I look at the journey, right? I look at where I am now, and I'm super blessed. 2014, a woman hit me with her car, threw me 3 feet in the air. And I always say, God gave me these locks and told me to keep these locks for a reason because it was my pillow. And I literally landed into my bag. But everything shifted for me because everything I had worked so hard for to get into culinary school, fight to get a scholarship, go to Ireland and do all these things and finally get in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And those who have been in the hospitality industry or the culinary industry, racism is real. It is hard. It's you get a two-pronged thing. It's your skin and then your sexuality, right? And so you go through this thing of proving who you are, but not wanting to prove who you are, letting your skills show who you are. And it was like, wow, okay, what am I gonna do? And I'm not gonna lie, I literally sat in that bed and did not know what to do. And I met my partner Major, and he is just like the green thumb, just black boy joy of growing. And he was like, I really want somebody to go on this journey with me. I really want to expand my concept of a business. And he's like, you have the premise, and you've been out here sneaking and chefing and trying to figure out what you can do, and why don't we combine these two? And he showed me his growth skills, and that grew my. I mean, we went from growing in a basement to growing on my mom's rooftop and in her backyard
I
to
love it.
finally growing in our space. But what for me was great is how we were able to, and still are trying to, close that gap between cannabis and vegetables, because they go hand in hand. And I am a testament to that. Before I met him, when I looked at how many pills they had me on, I was on 68 different medications. I couldn't even get a neurologist to look at me. It took my primary care, Dr. Carol. She's no longer my physician. She had to step down, but she found me a black neurologist. I used to call him Bill Cosby because he had the old school medical bag.
Yes.
And he was really into, let's figure this out, because TBI, we have information, but we don't have the medicine. We don't have all the things. And I appreciated him putting me with the right people, and then being open to learning about CBD and THC and how can this help me? Because some of those medications are saying, oh, side effect, make you want to kill yourself. Wait, that's a permanent effect. Like, these are things that we're not talking about. And then we have to look at, we as African Americans, as beautiful black folks, we are built differently. So certain medications don't agree with our algorithm. So being able to work with Major and figure out the food is medicine and the cannabis is medicine and bringing those together has been the beautiful journey of this, because I'm not on any medication. I'm strictly off of what is grown by us or by other farmers, and being able to reciprocate my knowledge to other folks that have TBI, who have battled cancer cells like I have, or full-blown cancer, those who are dealing with depression, because we're so quick to give you a script instead of sitting down and saying, okay, what are the things? What are you feeling? What are you eating? What are you drinking? And then going through and breaking that down and finding out what you need. Just like you were sharing with me earlier about how your sister went down that rabbit hole to find out what was good for your mom. How's this grown? This is something that should be our normal and was our normal until we kind of had that breakup of community. And we're slowly bringing that back with stewards like you and other farmers who are like, hey, okay, I can share this info with you and we can be able to share this resource. So I look at my journey as a stepping stone into a place where I've been able to learn and relearn. And constantly I am learning. And I love the age-old saying, you're never too learn to learn a new thing.
Ooh, I know that's right. I know I ain't learned. I know I ain't.
Yeah.
Every second of the day, enlighten me.
Yeah, like I want to know,
I want to know.
Yes. So that's been the blessing.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I am so blessed that you and I are here to this day, and today, and experiencing this moment, and that you're here because that accident could have went a whole nother way.
Yeah. And I look at it as though he saved me for a reason. I'm not overly religious. I just know there is a God.
Yeah.
And he saved me for a reason. Like, I am a huge advocate for mental health. I'm a huge advocate for women's health.
Yeah.
I've had ovarian and cervical.
Wow.
And, I have watched, I have experienced how they mistreat our bodies.
Absolutely.
And how they look at us like, oh, you're so strong and you're so this. And
they don't believe in our pain tolerance or nothing.
Or nothing. And, thank goodness for herbalists like Tammy.
Yes.
And so many other sisters that are going back to the root and providing an alternative space
Absolutely.
to say, hey, you don't have to take that.
Yeah.
You can have this ashwagandha with this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Like, I'm a novice. I don't know a lot. That's why I go to the main stewards. But, that is something that, we have been down this journey of how do we make sure we have an herbalist to tell us that what can go with the cannabis. Because, I went through a hellish procedure. It's been 3 years ago, a couple months ago. And, it was a fight to get a hysterectomy.
Oh, my goodness.
And I don't know. I would say, I don't know what I was thinking. I kept going to the emergency room and they just kept giving me drugs and they kept looking at me like I was here for the drugs. And I was like, you know what? I'm over this. And I started talking to herbalists. And we started talking to folks in the cannabis community. And we started taking like Rick Simpson oil, which is concentrated cannabis, and herbs that are known to help shrink cysts and tumors. And I was able to get up and move around. And I still made them do that procedure. I was at their office every day, but still, it was going through
your
that.
body. You know what you needed and what
your
you
body.
wanted.
And that's why, when at the farm, I strive to have some events where we have folks to talk to you. So you know how to advocate for your body.
That is a big thing, Chef. That is a big. I say this all the time, and I went through. I had to get a myomectomy done a couple years ago, and just other things. So I would show up at my doctor. And I would often say when I would come home, if I didn't have, the confidence to advocate for myself going to the doctor's office, they'd just be like, whatever, here it is. And some people don't have that.
Nope.
And they hate to see me coming, honey. I know they'd be like, oh, here she come. Yes, here I am.
Same thing. They probably think we twins.
Right. I don't knock their accreditation. I don't not, like doctors serve a purpose and a reason. There's some great doctors out there, but I know my body.
I'm not saying that doctors aren't necessary. I mean, God rest my uncle's soul. Like, my uncle was a doctor.
Yeah.
He was the first Black man to try this procedure from France they did where they warmed the blood and put it back in the heart and saved the little boy's life. Like, my aunt's a nurse. She's done emergency nursing. She's now doing with cardiology. Like, we need these folks. But I think one part that they missed is knowing the herbal side and then also really listening to your patient.
It's because it's greed.
Yeah.
It's all greed.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but it's greed. They don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend would always say, they're practicing medicine.
There you go.
And I was like, you're telling the truth. Definitely.
So your transition, again, you're still chef, but you were immersed in this world in culinary, and you studied it, you went to Ireland, like some really amazing experiences, right? And then like stepped into the world of farming and growing, and shout out to your partner. So how did, and I'm sure like having your hands in the soil and being out into the great space like really supported you emotionally. Like, what was that journey like for you?
So for me, I think being one with the land, right? taking that moment and getting quiet with God and seeing all the beautiful things that he created, right? And then being a part of that system by growing something successfully or unsuccessfully. Because I have failed more than a couple of times. But going through that and being in the dirt and learning about the seeds and really grounding and like taking it all in, the smells, the air, getting up early in the morning, seeing the sunrise in a different light. You a chef, you see the sunrise, I gotta do this all over again.
Yep.
But when you are farming, when you are growing, seeing the sunrise, I mean, it's just this feeling in your belly. It's like butterflies. It's like you seeing God just wake up the planet, right? You seeing the flowers start to glisten and a little bit of dew, and then you see your collards over there just sparkling, or your lettuce looking all great and happy. And it's just this feeling of joy and completeness. And for me, the battle with mental health and learning my brain and learning those things over again, being able to slow everything down and being able to touch and smell and learn furthered my soul because I felt an emptiness in it. I had to learn that wasn't an emptiness, that was a time of pause.
That's a message.
There was a time of pause to see the evolution of me. It is not my disability, it is my new superpower. There's nothing wrong with me. God recreated me for a better purpose and a better mission.
Amen.
And I'm grateful.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Amen. Amen. Gosh, I don't even know what to follow up with that on. Oh my gosh. You did when you were starting out, you talked about growing, successfully and then unsuccessfully, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And something came up for me like as soon as you said that, and that do you feel like growing is always some sort of experiment? It's
It
definitely
is.
a craft, but
Yes.
an experiment.
You are literally playing science. Like, I, I mean, you're mixing these soils, you're doing compost. Compost is science. You gotta mix the brown with the green and get it to the right temperature, and you gotta make sure it's right. And then you gotta know what you're putting in the compost. And it's constantly learning, and you're constantly doing some type of science. And we are fully sustainable and we do everything natural. So, my partner has been he's more certified, but he's always teaching me how to do Korean natural farming or jadam. And I'll just be in the kitchen sitting there like, oh wow, this is science. Like, we're taking potatoes and make it into this, and it's gonna get rid of pests and mold. And I'm just sitting there like, I feel like Beaker, and we need to be like have a song, da 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 da. Like, I'm just because it's just like so amazing that you're constantly doing something that is creating something. And then, you may fail. And then you go back and you go over what you did, and then boom, you got it. And you see the success of that. And you're like, okay. And then you want to share it with somebody. Like, hey, if you do this, put these two together in it. And then, it's just that constant and I love that one thing, the thing about farming is like, you have this group of folks that are willing to share that knowledge, right?
So important.
And it's like, I call it like the encyclopedia phone line, because if you don't know something, there's somebody that you can call that's going to be able to tell you. Like, one of my favorite ones, I call him Sean, the encyclopedia, Farmer Sean.
Sean is a walking encyclopedia.
He's an encyclopedia of knowledge. And it's not like brash or boorish. It's just like, he'll be like, oh, yes. well, if you put X, Y, then Z, then you'll get this.
I'm
And
like, why do you know this stuff?
like when he comes, I just sit there and make sure that my listening ear is on because I know I'm gonna learn something. Because he's just phenomenal. But I love that about the network and the community. You have genuine folks that are like, hey, okay, I heard you was going through this. So here is a way to navigate this. And, culinary is not always that way.
Yeah.
It's constant competition. Somebody wants to be the sous chef. Somebody wants to be the head chef. But here, it's none of that. It's you got land. You are all should be in the mission to feed each other
Absolutely.
and feed the soil and be stewards. Like you said, you looked up, where are we? I mean, we made it from 1% to now 2%. I think we might be at 3 or 4%, but there was a hole that was missing. And now we're coming back to reclaim that.
Yes.
And that is important. That's the
Yes.
mission.
Yes. Yes. Well, piggybacking on or going back to this, farming and growing is a science and it's an experiment, and there are successes and there are tons of failure. I'm sure there can be many written playbooks on like how to farm, how to grow. We have been in such a challenging season with this weather. This weather has been crazy. The climate is ever changing. And so now I feel like there's some new playbook that needs to be rewritten, new experience that need to be designed. How have you been managing?
I don't even know how we would even begin to write a playbook because I will tell you, I'm going to tell on myself. I'm going to tell on myself. Last season, I literally laid in the middle of the field and did one of, when you were chewing your terrible chews and you just stomp on the ground.
You had a tantrum.
I had a whole tantrum in the field. I sure enough did. And I didn't care if nobody saw me because I just said, what is happening? There is no... Everything that you've read in the Farmer's Almanac and all the things, it is literally you are winging it right now because what we knew of a season is no longer what that is. And then what you're thinking that you should put in the ground, it's too hot. And now they're angry. Like last season, I just literally was like, okay, what did I do? Where am I going? And then even this season, I had it where we had things that were happy on a Monday. Come Thursday, they done bolted. I now am in seed, and I gotta go to market on Saturday with what? And it is just this, and in trying to explain it to someone.
That's the other part.
And they're looking at you like,
They don't care and they don't want to understand, and maybe some do.
you need to figure out some food to put on said table. And that's, where we're now like, okay, if we start a little bit earlier, we might be okay. And that's kind of what we did this season. We started a little bit earlier than we would have usually started. And then we did more direct sewing this year.
Okay.
And then got creative. Like we used garden fabric to thin, net. It's like a thin netting we used to cover so the birds wouldn't come out there and eat it because for some reason the birds love me. I don't know. But I'm cool with you if you cool with me. I'll leave some seeds for you. You leave some seeds for me. Like let's figure this out. But like we've had to really and I think we haven't figured out the fullness of it yet. And I think again going back to sharing notes, like I was beating myself up like, oh my God, I'm behind. Life be lifing.
Yeah.
And so and then other farmers that I've talked, no, you're not the only one. Like,
Yeah.
things are happening. And then like last year we got no rain. This year we got all the rain.
All the rain.
So you really don't know which way is left or right. And then it's like, okay, well, my thing is, I go back to kind of culinary school. There's no wrong answer, right? Um, I think you keeping notes, right? And then go out there and do something buck wild and different. And if it fails, it fails. But my thing is, we don't know because, again, the conversation that we all may be having is not everybody else is having.
Yeah.
So we don't want to acknowledge global warming. We don't want to, acknowledge how the earth is shifting and temperature changes and all these things. And then even the price on certain materials you need for your farm
Yeah.
now costs you 5 times more. So now you got to invent, recreate, and come back at it, and I've been blessed where, family and friends have been like, okay, you can use my house
Oh.
to put some seedlings in here so you can, because my greenhouse don't have an exhaust fan. That's a whole nother story. But, we, we, we've had to get smart. And it's kind of like, I felt like, Inspector Gadget or my man from Pink Panther, Kuso. I'm trying to detect what I need to do different. And then my thing is also, hey, put it out there and see what happens.
At this point,
Where can you go wrong? Everything is not in the playbook anymore. Like the playbook has changed, and we have to constantly evolve. And I know it sounds easier said than done, and maybe it's just me. I know I'm talking about expenses, right? Seeds and time, and okay, chef, you put it out there and it failed, and now and wasted 2 months. But my thing is, okay, what if it doesn't fail? And now you have a new way of doing it. That's just the chef in me because it's all about taking that risk. And that's where I think I kind of blend the culinary and the farming. I'm a little more loose. That's why I could never do pastry because pastry is very, you got to stick to the recipe.
it's structured. Yeah.
It is structured.
Whole nother ballgame.
And they are up 2 hours before we are. And, so with culinary, you might be able to throw a little, let the ancestors speak to you a little bit of, So, in farming, I'm like, well, we can do a little bit of that
Right.
here, right? We can kind of open it up
Right.
to that. And I know most people are like, no, that's not how it works. But I'm like, what if we change and look at it differently? Because the world Mother Nature ain't waiting on us. Not one bit. And she showed you this week. She said, I'm 104 degrees. Hot body. Look at me.
Whew. Goodness.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all and thank you.
No, my pleasure.
Because the humidity,
my God.
the humidity has just been something else.
Even at 5 a.m.
Right. Super early.
5 a.m. I'm out there sweating like Reverend Al Sharpton. I'm like, listen, I'm built. I've done a whole winter. I figure I've done a couple of stuff, but I'm grateful for the rain, but the heat, baby.
Yeah. Chef, as the farmers market manager over at East Capitol Street Urban Farm, what goes down? What goes down at the farm? And what are y'all growing? What has been going? Speaking of like all the challenges, what have you been able to produce?
So we did, before bok choy got angry, we were doing. So we've been doing like bok choy, and we did a red romaine lettuce. I have an ancestral project. So like you, I have been wondering where all the Black seed companies were during COVID and striving to figure out where that gap was. Like we know all the main seed companies like Johnny's and all these others, but I was like, where are the Black seed companies? And so that's where the rabbit hole started for me, was me going down this rabbit hole and finding Black-owned seed companies. And then it led me on this journey of tracking and tracing things that our ancestors brought over here.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Because a lot of these things have been renamed, given a Latin name, and the history is now washed. That it is, and now that we had time during COVID, we're pulling back. we're scratching that back and finding out what we brought over here. The braiding seed sisters, braiding seeds in their hair, them hiding them into their fabric, things that have such a rich history. And we need to know these stories. And I've been grateful that there have been others that have been on this journey before me. So you have like Mama Bonita from Ujama, you have Soul Sisters Farm, you have True Love Seeds in Philly. Like you have all these amazing farmers that have been doing the work before me. And I found them looking for Black owned seed companies, and it furthered that fire in my belly to find out more and grow it. So on the farm, we're always growing some part of the ancestral seeds. So it will be like we have Whipple cowpea, we had a lettuce that came from a ninth generation farmer, Mini Poos. You won't find that
Ooh, mini
anywhere in the world.
poos.
Yeah, so I gave some to Kizzy because I trust Kizzy and
That's where I
Sean.
learned of it. I learned about it there.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. You don't want to gatekeep it. You want to get it to farmers to keep it going
Right.
and keep the story going and
That's a
keep
good
the
point.
lineage going because she had it. I literally got it from the farmer. She had it in her closet. And she was like, "Don't none of them grow nothing. Here, baby." And I tried to find anything and everything. I mean, to find out about Mini Poos, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I take great pride in that. And then
Can you
through
share with the audience who may not know about mini poos?
Okay, so Mini Poos came from a family in Culpeper, Virginia. I love them to death. They are just sweet people. And they're like ninth and 10th generation farmers. So their great auntie I came to talk to them about goats. I have a fascination. I want goats so bad, y'all. Chef wants goats, okay? I want the milk and the meat. So I went up there to teach them, like talk to them about goats and try to put them with other goat farmers that they can have and have that network. Because to me, if you have a network, you're not alone, right? And so I was talking to the auntie and she was like, okay, they told me what you're trying to do. Take this. And she was just telling me about how she's held on to these seeds through each generation of her family. And so I started growing it and I just saw how great she did, how happy she was. So I was like, oh, who can I get to be on this crazy mission with me? So Kizzy said yes, and Sean said yes. And Sean's always giving me plans. And me and Kizzy are just like kindred sisters. I love her to death. What she's doing, what she's creating, I think is so phenomenal. And I love bragging on.
Doesn't she use, and for those for more context, Kizzy, who's been on the show, her and her husband, they operate the Anderson James Farm. And it's a lovely space, lovely space. And when I tell you, baby, they can both throw down, oh my gosh.
That food,
That
Jesus.
food, oh my goodness. But doesn't she use mini poos in like some of her flower
She
arrangements?
does use in some of her
She's
flower
so
arrangements.
creative.
And then she's always constantly creating. So I don't know if you've had
All
her
the time, every second of the day.
every second of the day. Them pickled eggs, and she turned the pickled eggs into deviled eggs. Baby, last weekend I just kept saying, don't ask for more. Don't show that you, don't show your inner fat girl. Cause she know I will sit there and I mean, I love her eggs. And this is not just, this is me all day. If I think you are doing something amazing, I told Kenny, I love his watermelon juice. I literally have to take Benadryl because my body has changed. So I can't have certain fruits and things. I'm missing out on half of the fruit list. But I
Aw.
will risk it all just to have a little bit of Kenny's watermelon juice. Like, if I think you're doing something amazing, I'm genuinely going to cheer you on. And that's what the farm is for. Like,
Same.
literally, I created the farmer's market at East Capitol because I feel like we deserve to have our version of Uptown here. So you have DuPont Circle and you have all these Tacoma Park and all these nice, very nice bougie, markets. But one, they're not showcasing Black farmers and Black owned businesses like that. And then two, they are hitting you in the head for money. I I already know how much it costs. So I'm not gonna charge you. If I can give you a space to showcase your business for free, That's what I'm here to do. And everybody, I know, oh, well, you need to, yes, one day I will make some money.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
day.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
What I'm striving to do is make sure that others who are around me can make some money, showcase their business, and take it wherever they need to take it. And if I could be a small little dot in that to help,
Yeah.
then that's the thing. And so, even with the farm, like what we grow. So like we're doing corn and beans and squash and lettuces and herbs and eggplants. And I'm trying peanuts for the first
Come
time.
on, peanuts.
And then I
Please let me
tried
know
my
how
hand
those
at
turn out.
flowers for the first time. So we actually got zinnias and cosmos and Farmer Kizzy has been helping me because I've been trying to put more flowers at the farm.
Yeah, yeah.
So she got dahlias growing and all this crazy stuff. But that's like I'm amazed because I swear I didn't think I could grow a flower, and I called her and I was like, "They're alive, Kizzy." And I mean, because all I know is vegetables and the other flowers,
Yeah,
the-
right. The other flowers we know.
But so and even having that support because I feel like Ward 7 and 8 don't get enough love. And then when we come over there, we're making this high price point for what?
Yeah.
You're on the backs of folks who are literally striving to build a life and maintain and want to buy
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
But they may not be able to afford those uptown prices.
Exactly.
So my goal is to make it affordable
Absolutely.
for you.
Absolutely.
And then we'll either do it where if I know there's another farmer that has produce, we'll just have it where you can come and do you pick on the farm. So whatever might not have, you can come out in the field and see what we may have. So that way we're not cutting anybody's toes. And then, I've not been that great this year, but I strive to do other markets. Like I love Black and Forth. I think it's super dope. Black owned shopping center, Black folks, love it. Just haven't been able to do all the things this season. I strive to get out there and educate about what we're growing.
Yeah.
Because we are not as familiar with some of the things that we grow. And what I mean by that is like we have rat tail radish. It's great for pickling. It has a peppery taste. We grow different varieties of lettuce. So like mini Boost, red romaine. We've had butter crunch. We've had salad nova mix. It's fancy, it's a mix and it's all velvety and nice. We did onions this year. We did potatoes successfully because I have failed. I have failed at potatoes.
It's always an experiment.
It's always an experiment. Like I've done it on root bags. I have mixed and matched different methods. And that's what I did with potatoes this year. And guess what? We got potatoes. We got a good bounty of potatoes. And it's just it's like never sitting there and cutting a chance to learn and figure it out. And that's where I'm at. And then especially what I strive to do on the farm is because we have community gardeners. And we have a few are seniors and we have a few that are our age group that really want to help the seniors but also grow their own food. So we kept it at 6 because they always come. They've been down for the cause even before I got there. And, we strive to make sure that they're okay. They have what they need. And then, showing them different ways to keep pests out of there. And then, they had some longer beds, so they let me have those so we can grow more food and be able to give them more food throughout the season. And it's my thing is I feel like for me, it's all about making sure it goes 365, like all around. It needs to go all around for it to make sense. Because if I'm just benefiting, Mother Nature ain't gonna be happy with me. It has to be everybody gets a little piece of this.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And it's not for the recognition. It is for what did I tell you? For my soul.
For your soul. Yeah. And listen, there are many arguments to be made, or maybe not arguments. There are some folks who are you should stand this up as a business and you should be thinking, profit first or whatever. And I get both sides. I really do. And I get this is from my heart. This is just what I want to do for my community. And if that's okay with you, that is fine.
And for me, I went from not being able to walk and talk to living in my parents' house and having to relearn all the things and failing. I'm gonna tell you, I failed.
Yeah.
I made wrong decisions, bad decisions, and it was all a part of my healing journey. I'm on these meds. I'm frustrated. I'm doing stupid things because I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
I had to figure out how to talk to a therapist and learn there's a PTSD therapist. And I had three therapists. I had a speech therapist, PTSD therapist, because I had to figure out how to deal with me. And what I have learned through this process, I am not everyone's cup of tea because one, I am not tea. I am a strong bourbon brewed 1,000
I know
years.
that's right.
And I cuss. I'm one of the aunties. And
Listen, me
I
too.
love to entertain.
I know that's right.
And when
I
you
don't need
come,
to be everybody's cup of tea. Let's be clear.
I know that's right. And that's where I had to be comfortable with that. And
Yeah,
then
for sure. You have to come to that place. Yep.
you have to be comfortable in that place. And then, I went on from being on the soapbox, screaming about land access and not having land. And why can't we have land in
Yeah.
DC? To being able to have this space and be the steward of this space. So when I look at that space, I want to grow things that represent our ancestors, but also grow things that I know that we like, and then grow things that you may have never heard from.
Yes.
And then take my little table and cook it up for you and show you how you're supposed to enjoy this and the different ways you can enjoy this. And hey, Kizzy will tell you, I'll use her again as an example. I'll use her eggs. Saturday
Love her
morning,
eggs.
at the Saturday morning, you gonna get some Anderson James eggs and maybe some sausage from my friend Farmer Ed, or you might get bacon from another farmer. But it's all about showing how these people are in your community. This is where you can get your produce, your eggs, your meat from these farmers. And that's what I want people to
Yeah,
focus on.
yeah.
I want you to know that you can hit up Tammy or Farmer Sean or anybody and say, hey, Chef said I can come to you and you got bye.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
you speak to, you want things to come back around full circle, 360, but like this is a ecosystem.
Yes.
We all working together.
Yes.
Just don't stop.
And see, you are the voice. You giving our stories out there. And I think that's also important because in a time where our stories are being erased and we're not talking about that, and you're talking about what's going on the farm, like we are literally striving to put voices on the farm, whether that's nurses
Yeah.
telling you about advocacy and what you can have. We had Children's Hospital there to talk about what they had going on, from jobs to
That's
things that can
awesome.
help with your kids.
That's awesome.
We had the ANCs from Ward 7 there. We had City Blossoms and DC Food Policy, because we want you to be able to get access. Because my thing is, I didn't have access. I didn't know what. Remember I told you, I said, when they said I was farming, I was like, ooh, yay. Like, because I didn't know that. And then being able to find out about different conferences and different opportunities and being able to grow myself as a farmer and consistently I am growing myself as a farmer, So like the 19th, we're doing a farm jam information session, right? So we're going to have all the peoples that have the information. So
Yeah.
from NRCS to Sustainable Chesapeake, Future Harvest, the insurance lady let you know how you should set up your insurance for your farm. Because most people don't know how you're supposed to do that stuff. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I had to learn. And I figured if we make the farm an open and safe place, and that's my key thing, is safe. You come, this is a safe place. You come, at least you can come and get fresh produce, or we can host an event that can bring in community, or we can host an event where you can get information. Tonight we're doing a movie night. Like I told you, if 2 people just show up, hey, 2 people show up, that's great. But it's a space where there's consistency, that you can come get food, there you can come get community, you can come and get love. And that is what I want for East Cap. And as we keep growing that.
Goodness. That was a love letter, Chef Marley. That was a love letter. Well, we're going to wrap out in just a bit, but I want to know, Chef, what has been like your ultimate summer dish thus far with all the farm-inspired stuff? And I need to listen. I heard you throw down. I have not been able to come to one of your, like, I know you did some shindigs last year. They said that Chef Marley can throw down. I was like, dang.
Well, first of all, the door is always open to you, so you just tell me when.
I will.
Because I will make Major make his famous fried chicken.
I don't eat meat, but I do eat seafood. So
okay, now we can flip that now.
Okay.
I make I call it the poor man's version of paella, but we get all the veggies from the farm, and then we just throw some seafood in there, and then we just cook it up. And I try to get like rice for people who are growing rice, and then try to mix it all together. Like we've been doing a lot of salads.
Ooh, I love a salad.
Yes, a good salad. Oh my goodness!
Everything you just named, I want that.
Yeah, and the tomatoes. Oh my God!
I invite a friend who eats fried chicken. Yeah, he'd be good people. Good people.
Yeah. No, you can bring them on. But now I know. Yes, we can get all the seafood, and and the herbs on the farm.
You know,
we just throw them in there and get on that grill. You can. And I still, you just remind me, I need to hit Farmer Sean up because we supposed to have a fried soft shell battle going on.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, say it ain't so. Oh my God.
Yes, I got to remind him. But that's what I love doing. I love going out my front yard and you want some lemon balm tea. We go right to my front yard, clip some lemon balm, go boil some tea, sit on the patio, or roast, get some lettuce or some rosemary, make our own salad dressings. And it's just like, tasting all the love and all the things, and it's just like that's the one thing I love about being on the farm. You just go pick and start
I aspire. Eating. I'm a city girl, and I've always, even before living in DC, I've always been close to a bus stop, so I've never had, I mean, you can grow just about anywhere, but like I aspire to that. And I know that you have some amazing things in the pipeline that hopefully you can, drop sometime soon. So I'm just super excited, for your journey and then the continuation of you and your partner's farmer journey. So I'm so excited about that. But where can folks find you, for all the amazing events and pop-ups and stuff? Like shout out your social and everything.
So you can find me on Instagram as Chef Marley. And then on TikTok, because they were hating, they kicked me off. I don't even know what I did. I don't know what I did to TikTok, but we ain't gonna make you angry again. So I'm Farmer Marley, Marly, because we don't need to get sued by Bob Marley's children thinking I'm trying to be a Marley.
Listen.
I am Marley, Ly. And then, of course, Facebook is Foodie Delights. You can find us on Google at Foodie Delights. And, just pop up at the farm.
Yes.
Tuesday through Friday, because I'm making Mondays my mental health day.
As you should.
Tuesday through Friday or Tuesday through Saturday, you usually can find me on the farm. Just yell out, Chef, and I'll pop up somewhere.
And she's going to have the same energy. And listen, if you have a day that you don't, that's fine. But like infectious. Like, thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. I'm like your biggest fan. Like I repost. I try to put
thank you for supporting me.
Oh my God, I just think you're so amazing. Again, this ain't blowing smoke. I just think what you're doing is so phenomenal. And the way that you do it just makes, everybody's talking to me, it's like talking to their cousin or talking to their aunt. And, it's just like coming in here and you feel the love and you feel the energy and your smile. Oh, yes, honey. Get into it. But I just want to say thank you for having this space because it's so important. Mm-hmm. And you are keeping our stories going. So I appreciate you for having me.
I'm striving.
You are doing it well.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and peace. Thank you for listening to Edible Activists. You can find today's episode on Spotify, iTunes, and Simplecast, and follow along on all social media platforms at Edible Activists for updates. Want to support this platform? You can do so by purchasing our commerce or connecting with me about media partnerships at www.edibleactivist.com. In the words of Baba Tariq Adunu, there is no culture without agriculture. Peace.